Woodson rightfully upset.
That's a third foul on Galloway. Tamar Bates has come to the scores table for Indiana. Hakeem Hart bouncing inside, blowing right by Miller Kopp.
That's one-on-one with Miller Kopp, and Kopp has done a pretty nice job this year defensively, but one-on-one, Hakeem Hart has got to feel pretty good about that. Blows by him in the finish with the right hand.
Terps 7-0 run. Hart has 10. Jackson Davis, spin move, blocked by Reese.
Move his feet, stay in the play, not foul, and block that shot. Really impressive by Julian Reese.
A miss on the other end from Young. Galloway behind the back. Galloway kicks it out. Kopp three, got it. Stops the bleeding for the moment. Hakeem Hart, little step back, Jay. Boy, bucket here. And just be ready. It's going to get loud, but knocked out of bounds. Media timeout. 41-37. A trip to the semis on the line at the United Center.
Wasn't me. You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
With insurance from auto owners, you can relax knowing we got you covered. That's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
I should do this for a living.
A pair of 21-win teams doing battle here in the quarterfinals. Maryland by 4. Well, Sunday night, our experts will break down the men's and women's brackets of the NCAA tournament and give you all the information you need to know on Big Ten basketball and beyond. That's Sunday on Big Ten Network. These two teams, no doubt, dancing. The question is where and what their seed will be. Indiana hoping to be on one of those top 4 seed lines, Robbie.
Mike DeCourcy has them as a 4 seed right now, and feels like finding a way to beat Michigan at home last day of the season. It could be a real springboard for this team. Get this one, you're playing in front of a massive contingency of Hoosier fans here in Chicago. Really build on that and make your way into the NCAA tournament.
Tamar Bates, look what I found, and he puts it up and in.
Right place, right time for Tamar Bates, who gave some really positive minutes in the second half against the Wolverines. Guarded Kobe Buffkin, made a couple of threes. I think maybe that's something that can get him sparked here.
And Mike Woodson really praised the defense on Buffkin in his post-game press conference. But the defense here for Bates, not as good picking up the foul. Sophomore from Kansas City. It's been struggling offensively. Last 12 games, just 20% from the floor.
He had that big game against Michigan State, and then it was just downhill from there. Never was able to get it going after that.
Meanwhile, Ian Martinez, the first Costa Rican to play Division I Power Conference hoops, knocks down the free throw.
He's carved out a solid roll off the bench. He shot it at a high clip, 43% from three. Big time athlete. He can drive. He gives great effort defensively. You look at him in a million. Those are really the two guys that they play off the bench, but those two have made impacts.
Down inside, Malik Renew. That was a nice left-handed hook.
Dante Scott got all arm as Renew shot that half hook.
Renew's got 8 to go along with 7 rebounds. Nice ball game for the freshman from Miami.
He's got a chance. Certainly got to make some improvements here in the offseason, but he's got a chance to be a very good player in the Big Ten.
The 5-star recruit. Dante Scott gets to that left shoulder. Look at Jackson Davis. And look at Jalen Hood-Schifino. Timeout, Maryland. A 9-2 run for Indiana. Kevin Willard not happy, Robbie.
Well, Malik Renew going to this jump hook. There's that contact on the arm, but going right through it. Tough finish for Renew. Trace Jackson Davis, this is what Kevin Willard didn't like. Well, that's about at the apex, and then in transition, Hood-Schifino making something happen out in the open floor. Indiana right back at you. 4 for their last 4 from the field, and the Hoosiers loving it.
You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
You remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
All even in Chicago, and Robbie Hummel's going to take you through our Play with a Plan, brought to you by TIAA.
With the ball screen here, Race Thompson is going to be the help guy. He's got Dante Scott. Julian Reese coming to set this screen. Indiana trying to keep this to the right side. Jackson Davis gets back to his man. You see him right here with Julian Reese. But as this ball comes, Dante Scott, you got to have more of a sense of urgency if you're Race Thompson to get out to the three-point line. He lets it go. That's a guy who made 4 of them last night. And Dante Scott, just a little bit casual from Race Thompson, getting out of that ball screen defense.
Maryland has hit 7 threes, but as of late, it's Indiana making their last 4 shots to tie this ball game. We had a dandy in game 1 of our evening session. Overtime, Penn State beating Northwestern. Could we be in store for more of that? Indiana with a steal, looking for the lead now.
Nice play by Tamar Bates, cracking down, getting a hand on that ball.
Maryland's first turnover, 10.5 minutes, and it leads to a top open look. Boy, airballed it, and then a block by Dante Scott.
What a recovery right there. Renew thought he had a layup, and Dante Scott put it on the board.
Hakeem Hart trying to get to his spot against Bates. Right back to him. Spinning, right hand, no. Contact, no whistle, Indiana basketball. Now Hood Schifino, little teardrop. And they do call the foul on Julian Reese. 4 on the sophomore from Baltimore.
We're going to see a million check in here. You mentioned how well he played in the first half. This is a tough shot from Jalen Hood Schifino, and I get the desire to contest, but again, having an awareness of what your foul situation is and understanding that if he makes that, as long as you get a semi-decent contest on that, you'll live with the results. That's about as tough of a mid-range floater as you're going to see.
So Patrick Emilion checks in. Guy who is at his 3rd school, 3 years at Western Michigan, last year at St. Francis in Brooklyn, and now in a 5th and final season. Kevin Willard, as I mentioned, called him his unheralded MVP, and he's going to need some big minutes here in this one. Indiana back in front. Young kicks out, wide open, Hakeem Hart. Battle for the board to Renew.
Good shot, though. You'll live with that. Jameer Young on the turn down, getting your shooter in the corner.
Hood Schifino hangs in the air. Jackson Davis follows it, and he's fouled. A 12-2 run for Indiana.
Indiana flexing their muscles here, getting on the offensive glass. It's been all about the paint here tonight. Trace Jackson Davis just going right through a million. Indiana, just like that, a 7-0 run, and they have retaken the lead.
You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
Trace Jackson Davis, Indiana's heart and soul, getting the last bucket to put the Hoosiers up 3. What a career it's been for the senior. You look at where he stands in Indiana history. First in rebounds and blocks, 4th in points, and 4th in double-doubles. And he's also first. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The only guy, Robbie, to lead Indiana in scoring, rebounding, and blocks all 4 seasons ever.
Statistically, he has had an incredible career. You know, it's one of the best that Indiana has ever seen, and I think the only thing left for him to do is win. And it's an opportunity here this weekend, and it's an opportunity over the next 3 weeks for him to really punch his ticket to be looked at as one of those all-time greats at Indiana University.
He's got 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, and Indiana is on an 8-0 run.
Amir Young has been awful quiet. We'll see if he can get something going to the rim here.
10-footer off the mark. There's Dante Scott. Back to Young. Boy, missed a good look. Maryland hasn't scored in 4.5 minutes.
What a luxury for your 5-man to push it off the glass and get in transition. Look at that, on a wheel and deal like that.
Maryland sorely in need of a bucket. Hakeem Hart gives it to Scott. 2 former AAU teammates, both from Philadelphia. It's going to be Scott who drives it. Disrupted by Renew. Kevin Willard, hands in the air. He's looking for a foul. Down inside again. Jackson Davis back to that well, and he will go back to the line.
Trace Jackson Davis starting to put on a show. There's the spin move, and with the left going against the grain, it's a way to roll that thing home.
And the Indiana faithful with a huge contingent here at the United Center, loving it. Well, now you're going to have Julian Reese coming back in the game with 4 fouls. Since he went to the bench, Indiana went on a 6-0 spurt.
He's got to play smart. You can't reach. Got to move your feet. But I understand, because Kevin Willard's probably feeling like this could get away right here.
Jameer Young. Up top for Dante Scott. Back to Young. This is their guy. He's going to force it. Rebound, knocked out. Off of Trace Jackson Davis.
It looks like Jackson Davis tips that back.
Yeah, good call. Number 1 on number 1. Young drives and dishes. Blocking foul. Renew tried to take the charge. Didn't work. But Maryland is 0 for their last 9. After that hot start from deep, they've gone cold.
I feel like with the foul trouble, Julian Reese has been taken out of the rhythm that he really had early in the game. Shots not going down, nothing going in the paint. Like Dante Scott, I thought he could have shot that off the inbound.
Well, here's Reese on the offensive end. Backing down, up with a left. And Jackson Davis, strong rebound.
You can feel him starting to take over this game.
Bates is going to rise and knock it down. It's a 15-0 run. Another timeout for the Terps. my, what a run for the Indiana Hoosiers.
They are getting stops and they are operating at a different level right now offensively. What a boost it would be to this offense if you could find Tamar Bates' confidence and get him back going like he was early in the season.
And they are absolutely loving it, those in the cream and crimson. And Tamar Bates off the bench, giving him some big minutes here in the second half. Indiana's resume, Robbie mentioned it, Mike DeCourcy has him as a 4 seed. The 2 wins over Purdue certainly do not hurt the resume.
No, they don't.
Sorry, Robbie.
No. Okay. The 15-0 run over the last 440. Maryland 1 for their last 12 from the field.
Since Maryland went up by 7, they have not made a shot. And Indiana scored 20 points in that span to their 2. Patrick Emillion giving it up top. Here's Young. Their leading scorer going to work. Driving it on the big fella. And the big fella says, not tonight.
Those threes have dried up on the perimeter, and now Maryland trying to get it into the paint, but Trace Jackson Davis is just controlling everything. Over his feet, blocking the shot. That's his 3rd block of the night. Indiana's defense has been so impressive here in the second half.
In the corner for Carey. Wow! Just before the horn, a huge shot.
He absolutely needed it. Tamar Bates right there, but Carey raising up.
9 for Carey, all of them from deep. He has now made over 250 threes in his college career. Renew powers it up. Battle for the board. Carey grabs it.
They got numbers. Jackson Davis went down.
Can they take advantage? Hart, open look. Boy, that would have been big. Hart again. Yes.
A degree of difficulty on Maryland's last 2 buckets. The 3 and then that Hart reverse. That's 10 out of 10 stuff.
What a good response. The Terps will not go quietly into the Chicago night. Timeout. Boy, Don Carey just got that shot off.
No, he absolutely did. It's out of the corner, under out of bounds. He gets it up over the top of Tamar Bates. A big-time shot. And then Julian Reese stealing a possession on the offensive glass. Hakeem Hart going a little reverse action.
Auto owners insures your car. Because sometimes something from out of left field can literally come from out of left field. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
T-Mobile has the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus for free and price lock guarantee. Do you?
Well, yes.
Switch to T-Mobile and get a free Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus with no trade-in required.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you with Inflation Buster. Plus, if rates drop within 3 years of purchase, you can refinance with exclusive savings with Rate Drop Advantage. Don't miss these big savings. Visit inflationbuster.com.
Remember college? 5-hour energy got you through then. And now, we'll get you through again. Rediscover 5-hour energy.
When you see Wendy's Square Hamburger, you know you're getting the best. Guess who else knows that? Reggie Miller.
I got 5 burgers coming up. Heard ya. Hamburgers, Willie. Hamburgers. Hamburgers, Willie. No? Okay.
When you want a hamburger worth celebrating,
Square's the beef.
Wasn't me.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Hoosiers.
The Big Ten basketball tournament is presented by TIAA, the official retirement planning partner of the Big Ten. Indiana and Maryland, we've had haymakers thrown on both sides all night. Maryland trying to claw their way back. 54-48 right now. Coming up, Big Ten Live basketball postgame from that location right there, presented by American Eagle. You'll hear everything. You'll see the highlights. You'll hear the analysis, the press conferences coming up after the game. First game tonight went to overtime. Penn State outlasting Northwestern. What are we in store for here in the final 8+? Hood Schifino, elbow jumper.
He's so good in that zoom action where he is just coming off that handoff. He's flying off it. That mid-range game is his deal.
He and Trace Jackson Davis have combined for 33. Down inside to Reese with a left. No.
Not many guys contesting that hook from Reese the way that Jackson Davis is going to.
Jackson Davis, not only the 18 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists now, and 3 blocks.
Got to send some help, but then you have to find cutters.
And that's on Emillion, and now you got a situation, Rob, where there's still 7.5 to go, and you got Reese and Emillion with 4 fouls.
They were in some foul trouble last night and found their way, and they're going to have to do that once again over the next 7:32. I thought Emillion got a lot of ball on that block. I don't know where the contact was.
Well, Emillion thought so too. He was immediately looking at the officials, pleading. But Hood Schifino will get an opportunity at the line. And the Big Ten freshman of the year now has 16. 2 30-point outbreaks this year, including that season-high 35 at Purdue on February 25th.
I feel like that game is what won him the Big Ten freshman of the year. That made a statement. Him and Bryce Sensabaugh were the two that I think were really in contention for that award. What a signature performance, and one of the best performances any freshman's ever had in that game.
Yeah, he was tremendous. Did pretty good tonight. Here he's trying to defend Jameer Young.
He's staying right with him. That's a tough guard, those little quick guards.
Emillion lost it. It is physical inside right now. It's not often you see Reese and Emillion on the same floor together, but they're out there both with 4 fouls.
Makes sense with the Indiana lineup.
Yeah.
Who's big.
And Bates hit one earlier, but not there. I feel like Jameer Young's going to have to start hitting some shots here.
Getting to the rim, and really the recipe for them to build their lead was making shots from the perimeter, which they have not been able to do in the second.
Meanwhile, Carey, the 3-point shooter, taking it to the basket.
Nice drive. Have to respect his jumper, so he puts it on the floor. Goes glass, and down Carey. A really nice stretch of 6 games here.
All in double figures. His best basketball of the season, no doubt. The senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Reese can't reach here.
Jackson Davis knows that, and he puts it in. Give him 20.
He's played like a first-team All-American all year long. He's done that once again here tonight in Chicago.
He is a Sporting News first-team All-American as of this week, and here he gets a steal.
I don't feel like his stat line has necessarily shown the impact he's had, especially here in the second half. That's saying something for a guy with 20 points, and he's done it on the glass. He's blocked shots, made plays for others.
And they're going right back to him. A little too strong, knocked out, and they're going to say Maryland has it. You're right, though. Trace Jackson Davis. I mean, and the numbers are really good, but he has just been so impactful on both ends tonight. With him being a first-team All-American, it's the first in Indiana since 2013 when they had Zeller and Oladipo. Young, right down Broadway. Photo for Scott. Oh, my goodness. I have never seen a ball go that high off of a missed dunk in my life.
They just got slingshotted about 50 feet in the air. Dante Scott, nice follow. And again, Jackson Davis with the contest. It's coming right into your living room. This thing just, man.
50 feet in the air, and unfortunately for Maryland, out of bounds to the Hoosiers.
Does Maryland have one more push in them to get some stops?
It's not going to start there. Indiana gets the ball back. Indiana, Maryland gets the ball back. Offensive, yes. Watch this. My goodness. How high that ball went. Well, the foul is on Hood-Schifino, just his second. I wonder if the Terps may have some heavy legs right now.
This is the second game in 2 nights, and you don't do that all that often in your college season, other than maybe your Thanksgiving event. But these guys are young. I don't know if it's tired legs, but they haven't shot the ball well from the perimeter. 25% from the field this half. It's just been a struggle. You're not making threes. It's tough inside because Jackson Davis is roaming that paint.
Carey backs it up. A couple times between the legs. Now Young. Hakeem Hart. Shot clock at 4. Collision. Defensive foul. They're going to get that on Bates. 17 fouls on Indiana. Maryland to the line.
Oh, this is a charge. I mean, this is a lowered shoulder. And watch Tamar Bates just take this right to the chest. And that should have been an offensive foul.
But instead, Hakeem Hart gets to go to the line at 82%. Shooting foul 2, and then the Indiana fans, of course, could not believe the call. And Hart gets the second. He's got 13 to lead the Terps.
See if Maryland can dial up some of their full court pressure, maybe turn Indiana over. That defense creates some offense.
Indiana able to advance into the front court as we approach 4 minutes left. And the last of our quarterfinal matchups, and that is 5 on Patrick Emilion, and he's done. And Indiana will also be shooting free throws the rest of the way. Both teams will. And the senior will have to wait, watch from the sideline. Remember, Julian Reese also with 4 fouls. Jackson Davis now with 21 points.
Indiana's defense here in the second half has certainly tightened, but I just feel like Maryland has been as crisp in their half-court offense. The quality of shots that they've generated, and they've missed some open ones, which always hurt you, but it's been a lot of one-on-one, a lot of isolation.
And now down double digits as we tick inside of 4 minutes. Jameer Young bumps into Race Thompson, so he will shoot free throws when we return to Chicago. The Indiana Hoosiers trying to get to the semifinals. Back in a moment.
We pick up the phone because it's ringing. I should get this. Hello, this is Sam. How can I help you? That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
T-Mobile has the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus for free and price lock guarantee. Do you?
Well, yes.
Switch to T-Mobile and get a free Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus with no trade-in required.
Remember college? 5-hour energy got you through then. And now, we'll get you through again. Rediscover 5-hour energy.
All right, everybody, it's 2 of any of these, for just $6.
Can you get a Dave single with a 10-piece nug?
Yep.
How about 2 Dave singles for $6? And that's class.
Sit down, Toby.
Sorry.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6.
Wasn't me.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Well, Trace Jackson Davis has certainly made his presence felt here in Chicago. 22.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks. He has controlled the painted area. He has been dominant here in this second half. And with Julian Reese in foul trouble, he's gotten whatever he's wanted at the rim. Trace Jackson Davis playing like the first-team All-American that he is.
Look at this, and look at that note at the bottom. And I know it's a lot of numbers, but the bottom line is nobody has had a game like this in Division I basketball this season. You know, Bob Kravitz of The Athletic a couple of days ago had an article about Trace Jackson Davis about how after last year he was set to leave Indiana and go pro. He told his family, told his coaches, but before leaving for Chicago for the Combine, he was positive for COVID with no symptoms, and then he tested positive 7 days straight, could not go to the Combine at all, and he said, that's a sign. I'm going back to Indiana, and it certainly has worked out okay for the Hoosiers.
And I think it's worked out for Trace Jackson Davis. You know, he's going to play in the NCAA tournament, which they did last year, but you start in the first 4, and I think it's helped his draft stock. I think the way that he's handling the basketball, playmaking, become more of a complete player, still doesn't shoot from the perimeter, but I think this season has helped him for his pro prospects.
I was there. We were waiting to interview Trace Jackson Davis because we all were expecting that he was going to still show up, waiting for that negative test. Mike Woodson was in Wintrust Arena where the Combine was. He was sitting there when Trace Jackson Davis called him and said, Coach, I'm going to meet you tomorrow in Indianapolis. I'm coming back. Mike Woodson left Chicago right then and there, wasn't watching the rest of the Combine, headed back down to Indy. They met the next morning, and he was coming back, and here we are.
And Trace Jackson Davis has called it a blessing in disguise. Indiana, though, careless with the basketball here. And Maryland a chance to crawl a little bit closer with 3:41 to go.
Race Thompson flashing to the basketball, but then putting it on the floor, getting a little out of control. Maryland converging, and Thompson just throwing it out of bounds.
Both teams have taken pretty good care of the ball tonight. Indiana 9 turnovers, Maryland 8. Into Carey, that's his spot, but Bates was right there.
He was right there the last time. Didn't stop him there.
That's true. He does have 3 threes tonight. Here's Jameer Young, pulls up. Yes, tough shot over Race Thompson.
I thought Thompson did a pretty nice job. He's trying to stay in front against one of the quickest guys in the league, and now just throwing it out of bounds. And Race Thompson, back-to-back plays.
Well, he has been a little out of sorts now. He's been in foul trouble, been on the bench a lot. Staying on the floor here, Trey Galloway returns for Tamar Bates. Indiana 3 turnovers in their last 4 trips. And there's a foul before the ball comes in. So Maryland gets to go to the line.
Back-to-back turnovers, and then committing a foul like that. Indiana just imploding here over the last 3 possessions.
Yeah, just when you thought they were in full control of this game. Don Carey, 89% at the line this year. And he misses the front end. 2-possession game. Jackson Davis got up in the air, found Thompson. Thompson finds the bucket.
What a pass. He left his feet. Found Thompson, and this little cut into that lane. Race Thompson making himself available.
Indiana trying to get to the semifinals just like they did last year. Maryland hasn't been to the semi since 2016.
They're really trying to keep Jameer Young to his right hand. Let him get left. That's where he's really tough to defend.
Well, he got back to that left. He draws the contact. Third foul on Hood-Schifino. Jameer Young led the way for Maryland in that January 31st meeting with 20 points in the win over Indiana. They've held him a little more in check tonight. He's got 10. And the second team All Big Ten player hits the free throw. What are your big keys here for the final 2:30? What are you watching, Rob?
For Indiana, taking care of the basketball. And I think for Maryland, dialing that press up, seeing if you can speed the Hoosiers up and see what your defense can make and help your offense.
Here's some of that pressure. They get it across with 1 second to spare. Mike Woodson talking to his young freshman, Jalen Hood-Schifino. Down inside, Jackson Davis. Oh, but Race Thompson picks it up. Look at the shot clock though. Hood-Schifino, huge three from the freshman. Nine-point game. Young across the way to Carey. Carey gets a screen. Air ball. And now Maryland's got their backs against the wall. Hood-Schifino, by the way, has not sat 1 second of this game. Jackson Davis and Julian Reese just fouled out of the game. Or did they get Dante Scott? Yeah, they got Scott. They
slapping
did.
down. Julian Reese just took a shoulder right to the chest. I mean, that was a powerful move.
I was going to say that's a tough way to foul out of the game.
Kidding.
My goodness.
Oh, Dante Scott didn't touch him, and then that could have probably been an offensive foul on Trace Jackson Davis.
Break for Indiana, and Jackson Davis makes it a double-digit game. Kevin Willard taking a timeout. He has none left. But that shot by Jalen Hood-Schifino could be the dagger.
Well, he got that rhythm dribble. He puts it down and then shoots it like a pull-up jumper, which he's so good at. Shot clock winding down. Little jab, raising up. Jalen Hood-Schifino playing well above his years. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. It's been the mid-range for the most part tonight. The right floater, the pull-up jumper. He's so comfortable in that 15 to 17-foot area. But when it mattered most, it's that three-pointer that probably is going to be the difference, barring something crazy happening here.
Last 20 seasons, Jalen Hood-Schifino breaking a drought of 9 years with Indiana having a Big Ten Freshman of the Year. But since the award started back in the 80s, Indiana's had 11 of them, and that's the most in the conference. And, you know, you go back to when Xavier Johnson injured his foot December 17th against Kansas. Not that Hood-Schifino wouldn't have had a huge role on this team. He already did.
Well, the ball got put in his hands.
Yeah, he had to
be the guy that was going to run the show and make plays. Xavier Johnson, a dynamic guard. You lose a guy like that, and all of a sudden it's, all right, we got Hood-Schifino, we got Trace Jackson Davis. You're going to ride those guys offensively.
Indiana 126 from a meeting with Penn State tomorrow late afternoon.